Hello, everyone. MMA with Friends, Seattle Mike here. What's everybody doing? Already a great start here, huh? To CBS Sports Network. For those that are watching, we're awaiting the end of the Southern Miss Florida University game. So, CBS, good job of showing us how important you think MMA is. No. On another note, though, this is one thing I will say. For Viacom, who owns CBS Network and owns Spike and Paramount, other affiliates that Bellator has been on through the years, they've lost money. They've lost money every year. I think last year, surprisingly, was actually their best year, and I'm guessing they must have just gotten some debt paid off or something. But it's been a loss leader, a tax write-off to them for them pretty much since this thing started. Let's boycott CBS Network, yay. Well, then what are we going to do? Then we really can't watch Bellator. It's the only place it's on. But, man, crazy stuff happening this week in MMA. Anthony Rumble Johnson, of course, signing with Bellator. He'll be on the show today to talk about that. We'll see. Hopefully they announce an opponent. And I don't even know what weight class he's going to fight at. Of course, Anthony Rumble Johnson fought everywhere during his career, from welterweight at 170 all the way up to heavyweight. And heavyweight, of course, he took on Andrei Arlovsky over a World Series of Fighting. In his hiatus, he had gotten dumped by the UFC, as had Andrei Arlovsky at the time. It looks like a lot more fighters are going to be dumped soon. Of course, we've heard 60. Dana White said about 60 fighters to be cut. And I do have a list. Mike, do you think Tyrone Woodley getting cut? I do. He's on my list of guys that I think are on their way out. I think it's going to be an easy one for Dana to go and say, hey, you've lost this many fights in a row. The salary on that guy, he's guaranteed a lot of money for being a former champion. All those former champion, you got to look at former champions and title holder title challengers. Once you become a title holder, even challenge for a belt or end up with an interim championship, your salary goes up significantly. So I don't know what he's making about, but I wouldn't doubt if he had at least 300,000 guaranteed. And then, of course, I'm sure he makes, a good deal more than that. All right, 3:08 left in this football game. For those that are watching along over on CBS Sports Network, hopefully this is not a sign of things to come. But here we are, waiting on CBS Sports to start the fights. And they're going to continue to run a football game. I mean, I guess it's kind of within scoring distance. FAU 5-2. They got 31 points, losing to Southern Miss, who has 45. 2-7 Southern Miss. A game where you're down 2 touchdowns to a team that's 2-7. seems like MMA, starting this event might be a little bit more important. But and there, for those that are like losing at fantasy football, like apparently I do, Christian McCaffrey out again this week. Excuse me. God, he's got like his third injury of the week. I don't know. It's nuts. Hey, Dirk Crutch, but it seems like maybe nobody was really interested in this Bellator. Maybe I should have just went to bed. No. No, it should be coming through and starting any time, though. But I got a list of UFC fighters that have already been cut. Last week, of course, everybody knows Anderson Silva was cut, when he refused to officially retire, which everybody, including myself, I think thought that the Uriah Hall fight was going to be his retirement fight. And it's so tough with these guys as they get older, and they've been so good in the past in the glory, and you don't want to go out in a loss. So it's like, I want to keep going until I get that win. And then you get a good win, and you're like, hey, maybe I got something left. Maybe I can work on this. These guys, they just, they don't want to stop. And I understand it completely. Probably waiting to watch the fights too on their phones. I agree with you, Derp Crunch. That's good. They're probably like, come on, boys. Can we just end this damn thing? But, fighters that have been cut already. Matt Wyman, not surprising after his loss last week. He was cut by the UFC. Like I said, the UFC said they're going to cut 60 fighters. UFC's only been profitable. WME, the management entertainment company that bought the UFC out, what's it been 3-4 years ago now? They are not doing well. They are not doing well at all. Despite, ESPN writing a $5 billion check for television services over 7 years, their other ventures have not been profitable, and WME was laying people off across the board. And Dana White had talked about it and says, hey, in the UFC, we haven't laid anybody off, we haven't fired anybody, and this was a little while back. And apparently that's not the case. I'm assuming somebody went to him. No matter what you think about Dana White, he does care about fighters. He wants them to be able to get their paydays. I think, he doesn't give away random locker room bonuses. Because he hates fighters. He likes to see good fights. But yeah, between guys getting cut and then the positive test for the Khabib Tony virus. We just lost Sergey Spivak versus Jared Vanderay. Sergey Spivak, that guy, he's a stud of a heavyweight. He's not going to be on UFC 256, though, due to a positive test. And I know there was somebody else out. Tisha Torres' original opponent, it was out. Angela Hill. Angela Hill got the virus, unfortunately. And LFA... UFC's calling up LFA veteran Sam Hughes to jump in against Tisha Torres. That's a tough break for Angela Hill, though. She's had enough tough breaks on the scorecards. But real quick for Bellator, though, what about poor Corey Anderson? Poor Corey Anderson. You know, he's in a fight that the winner is most likely going to get a title against Blachowicz. Gets cocky against a guy he'd already defeated, already dominated, and then gets smoked by Blachowicz, gets knocked out, and then he comes over to Bellator, and it's kind of like, oh, free reign. How many guys are there that are really going to challenge him at light heavyweight? I mean, maybe Ryan Bader, and Bader is, you know, the light heavyweight and heavyweight champion, so I don't know if, you know, he's really interested in that fight, or if those two actually end up fighting, or if, you know, Bader just vacates and holds the easier Bellator belt there. I think Cerrone's getting cut. I agree. Charles better make weight. Want to see him fight Ferguson. Yeah, that's something else I was going to talk about. So Tony Ferguson said, he says, I don't want to hear any of these excuses of late replacements or whatever. He says, if Charles Oliveira doesn't make weight, I'm not fighting. And I get Tony's point. And if Tony doesn't fight, mark my words right now, everybody's going to blame Tony. Especially if Charles is close. But I mean, standing up against a guy that, you know, has just cheated, point blank in the past. Charles Oliveira, while he was at 145 and even at 155, that guy has missed weight so many times. And, I mean, he missed weight by 8 pounds on one occasion. And when given several times, he's been given 4 hours to lose additional weight and just chose to come in heavy and take the fine. Should cut off all the old MMA fighters from 37 over. You wouldn't have a heavyweight division though, dude. That's the big problem with that. Tony is losing again. I like how Ferguson put him on the spot, to be honest. I like it too. You know, and Oliveira, his camp came out right away and said, oh, hey, this is not going to be a problem. So, either way, I agree. I think it was a good thing for Tony to do. Because, you know, he put him on notice. And now everybody's watching the scale for Charles Oliveira, saying, hey, when are you going to fight? Or are you going to make weight? Oh, well, cut them off anyways. You have to get rid of the heavyweight division. And you know, I was thinking about the other day. Why are your top contenders at heavyweight? I mean, Francis Ngannou's in his 30s. I guess he's one of the younger ones. But your top contenders in heavyweight, they're never the young guys. Not really. They're always older. Always. Look at Derek Lewis. He's around 37. Stipe, I believe, is 37, 36, 37. Right in there. Always guys in their later 30s. Of course, Cormier was champion not so long ago in his 40s. I think, you know, in these younger weights, you need that speed, but power is the last thing you lose. And a lot of these guys, as they get older, they just get stronger. I mean, as far as strength-wise, like your prime is probably somewhere in between 35 and 45, honestly, depending on the guy. And maybe I'm extending that just a little bit, a few years, because I just turned 42. But the power is the last thing you lose, and then this knowledge, comes with you from being a heavyweight, from training and doing this so long. And look at even Andrei Arlovsky, he's figured out a way to get the W. He's not been entertaining. That's a guy that could be cut, but he won't this time. Had to come drop a Like for my guy, Mike. What's up, Snake? What's up, comedic genius? Oh, no. You got it, too? Or comedic? Or are you talking about Snake? Snake left in the comments the other day that he had it. Damn, I hope you're feeling better, Snake, by the way. Damn, you too, comedic. Holy jeez. Damn. Sorry to hear that. Stay well, boys. Not the guys over 37 who are still winning. We would have missed a lot of great fights like DC KOing Stipe. Yep. Snake says, I made it out. The Rona. Oh, you're feeling better? Good. I'm glad to hear it. For those guys looking for an update, since Bellator moved to CBS Sports Network, we're still awaiting the end of this stupid football game between Southern Miss and FAU. 30 seconds left on the clock. And Southern Miss just put another touchdown on the board to go up 51-31. So I really wish they would cut this damn game. COVID-19 is not real in my world. The cold chills and body aches. My spine feels like bone on bone, like cartilage. Damn, Comanche, I'm a shell. Oh, jeez. How much did they pay you, comedic? No. I gotta be careful even saying anything like that. They'll cut your stream like immediately. Which is somewhat understandable. But we were getting to fighters cut, and he said, so Andrei Arlovsky, he won't be cut yet because I believe he won his last fight. Disputed. I actually think I scored. I don't even remember who he was fighting, to be honest. But I believe I scored that he lost the fight. So, but getting back to fights we've lost Sergey Spivak versus Jared Vanderev to the Khabib-Tony virus for UFC 256. And then Angela Hill is out against Tisha Torres. They found a late replacement for her. And I thought there was a list of fighters that had just been cut. I know Matt Wyman just got cut, which was surprising to absolutely no one. Derb Crunch was talking about, guys getting cut. Oh, there's another one. Carl Robertson versus Dalcha Lungambula. That's been cut. Dalcha tested positive, unfortunately. So I don't think they found another a replacement for Carl Robertson. They scheduled, I believe it was 15 fights for this card, which is smart because, we keep seeing these fights canceled over and over and over again. 2019 was a pretty good year for the UFC as far as losing main events and injuries and stuff. But you got to look at the situation we're in right now. And they just switched to Bellator here, guys. Oh, wow, and we just missed the first round middleweight submission. So, good thing CBS decided to show that blowout football game. Turned me into meatloaf for 2 weeks. Damn. A dragon blood pump from an... Oh, geez. Charlie Sheen in the house. 278 plus. All good, Snake. I enjoy spreading the agenda. Be fine. Drink a couple shots of vodka and black pepper. I know. Let's go with the vitamin D and zinc. I think that's a little more proven, but Oh, wow. Romero, somebody. That one, that fight wasn't even announced for the main card. Romero Cotton. Hey, not much. How you doing, Torin? Good to see you in here, sir. And, of course, the big news for Bellator this week is the signing of Anthony Rumble Johnson. I mean, there's kind of one of your cuts, if you will. Because, of course, Anthony Rumble Johnson had not fought in quite some time. He was getting paid pretty big. I have a feeling that contract negotiations probably broke down, and the UFC just went and said, "Hey, go ahead and walk. That's fine. We gotta cut some fat right now, anyways." Floyd will embarrass Logan Paul. That is such a joke fight. And I try to cover things, guys, that people are interested in. But if that's going to be the fight, if they're not going to have actual boxers on that card, I'm not going to cover that. So whatever else is going on, even if it's a crappy UFC card or whatever it is, guys, don't count on me to be covering Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather Jr. That's a freaking joke. And to be honest, it really pisses me off. Oh, you got Jake or Mayweather? Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I guess Mayweather, but I don't want to see it. Charles Oliveira fight is a make it or break it. How the man has only lost in 8 years. If I see if Tony lost 5 fights. Oh, definitely not a make it or break it. Tony's right in there. If Tony wins, which, he should be highly favored, in my opinion, against Charles Oliveira, he's right in there. What are they going to do with the lightweight title? It's probably going to, my guess is it's probably going to be Dustin and Conor. And I know people are not going to like that. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not saying it's the fight that I want to see, but I can see that being what the UFC does. Oh, this is a great fight, this 3-spot coming up, though. Linton Vassell and Ronny Markes. These guys are... Linton Vassell's tough as nails, by the way. And he's always fun as hell to watch. And Ronny Markes. So, heavyweights coming up next. But there is all is not well in UFC land, in Dana's world, and especially the guys over there at WME. The UFC, they had managed to, not have the layoffs that the rest of WME had. And Dana was talking about, hey, I haven't had to lay off any of my guys. Of course, now we know that's not the case any longer. He talked about 60 fighters being cut. And we got all this new, cheaper labor coming in from, the Dana White Contender Series. These guys on new contract. But you're going to see guys like Andrei Arlovsky will not be cut next because you can't be cut if you lose. But there's going to be a big surprise. I'm going to mention this. I'm going to go deeper into some of these cuts, in a video that I've been working on. But don't be surprised if Junior Dos Santos loses this Saturday. Do not be surprised if Junior Dos Santos is cut. He's guaranteed over $300,000. I think he might be guaranteed over $500,000 a fight. To be honest, he's the bottom of the main card, and it's not personal right now. It's business, and I think they're going to look at that and think this money can probably be better well spent right now. Michael Chandler and Alex Perez were added to UFC 4 today. Nice. I'm going to have to check that out. I haven't been on the game in a while. I need to. Get a Derp Crunch vaccination. Oh, my Jesus. Derp THC works wonders, too. Hybrids are the best. Nice. Smoking right now. That's pretty good. Meaning hot wings, mashed potatoes, cayenne, pepper seed. Oh, that sounds delicious, sir. Who knows? I went on a dispensary binge and just put it all in a jar. You turned 22 in January. I'm getting so old. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, everything after like 22, guys, you're gonna wake up and you'll be old like me. You'll wake up 40 years old, like Anthony Rumble Johnson sitting on a couch right now being interviewed. No. All right, guys. I don't know who has CBS Sports Network and who doesn't, but Anthony Johnson is on there right now, and they are announcing that Anthony Rumble Johnson officially signed with Bellator yesterday. So, you know, that light heavyweight division, it's getting interesting. It's actually getting interesting in Bellator. You got Phil Davis, Lyoto Machida, Vadim Nemkov, is now the champion. I said it was Bader earlier. I thought Vadim Nemkov is now the light heavyweight champion. But yeah, you got Vadim, you got Ryan Bader, you got Phil Davis. You got some tough guys. And of course, years back, Phil Davis and Anthony Rumble Johnson shared a card. It was the first card in Seattle that I was there for. Anthony Rumble Johnson was fighting Dan Hardy at welterweight, believe it or not. And Phil Davis was fighting Little Nog, Antonio Rosario Nogueira. Oh, happy birthday to the birthdays. Kevin, I know, I'm sorry to hear that. May God help you. Yeah, I hope you guys are doing much better with the virus and stuff. And you're like just waiting for the next year's B-Days to become less of a cool thing. Yeah, it's just another year closer to death, right? No. I bet Connor's scary behind. Won't fight Tony if he beats Charles. Well, I mean, he might not have a whole lot of choice. What are they going to give him? Who are they going to give him? You got a lot of things going on here. In that division, Justin Gaethje just lost. And Tony Ferguson, in my mind, that's the only other guy. Yes, they could throw Michael Chandler in there somewhere in here. But I would like to see Michael Chandler fight someone else before getting a title shot. Linton Vassell, 15 of his 19 wins by knockout or submission. 7 knockouts, 8 subs, 10 first-round finishes. Ronny Markes, he's won 3 of his last fight, 12 of his 19 wins by knockout. Point being, these guys like to finish fights. Don't understand why Connor keeps trolling Ferguson. It's good and well he wants no part of him. He's probably trying to drive him crazy. Had actor Tiny Zeus Debo Lister. Oh no. Yeah, rest in peace, Lister. Found dead in his home at the age of 62 today. Oh, that sucks. That guy's a great actor too. That guy's fun to watch. I don't know if you guys remember, he was in the WWE way back in the day for a while. I mean, they had a big pay-per-view, him against Hulk Hogan. And he had that lightning bolt tattoo. I think they might have called him Z in WWE. But of course, He's the big bully in the first Friday movie. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, get some rest, Snake. Get better, man. I need a damn job and take care of myself now because I just can't stay at home anymore. Oh, I could hear you that. I'll compensate this weekend. Nice, Snake. Nemkov can fight, and I like his fighting style. Yeah, he's exciting. R.I.P. Debo, a.k.a. Tony Lister Jr. If I don't see you later, good morning, good evening, good night. All right. We'll see you, Snake. Hey, don't forget, guys, while I'm on this, BKFC Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship comes back tomorrow. We're doing BKFC. Like I said, the last time I did BKFC, it's the most fun during a stream I've had all year, literally. We got to see a 3-second knockout. That was cool. But almost every fight ends, with a finish. They're all entertaining. And if it's not, it's over in 10 minutes. The other big black guy passed who was in Friday shooting dice with him. Oh, yeah. I don't know that I ever did know his name, but I can picture his face from the movie. Yes, Zeus. And thank you, Cloud. All right, Torin. Thank you, Torin. Yeah, his name was Zeus in the WWE. 2 years ago, I was going to meet Tony Lister at a convention in Lexington, but he canceled last minute. Said he would... Oh, Jesus, Terp. Come on, man. Oh, God. Conor will take another boxing match before he ever takes a fight with Ferguson. He's been avoiding Tony. He's going to want to fight the other frickin' Paul brother. I mean, this is so ridiculous. And for people that think that I'm overreacting to this, for those that don't know, this jackass Paul that's, looking for this money grab with Floyd Mayweather Jr., he just lost twice to another YouTuber. The same guy twice in a row. Another guy that doesn't know how to box. It's ridiculous. Yep, Debo from the Friday Money movie. Thank you, Billy. I was trying to think of his name. Classic movie character. Yes, he is. Easy, Mike. Jackass Paul. Come on. Yep, Bill. Hey, Billy, if there's not anything else really going on, I'll give you a stream key, and you can stream the Mayweather versus Paul fight. I don't want anything to do with it. He lost due to a 2-point deduction. This is true. He was the classic bully, and he played that role well. My fave was his role in Fifth Element as the president. Debo could definitely not out Chunky Waddell. Oh, God. I will do it for sure. All right. There you go. So Billy will be your host for that freak show. Maybe they'll put some better fighters on there. If they put some other fighters on there, I might come in and say hi during a fight or two. But yeah, it's don't understand why Conor fans won't admit he's scared of Tony Ferguson. I like that. Can't blame Logan for fighting Mayweather. Why would you turn that down? Oh, I get it. I mean, he's going to get a lot of money probably, and I guess there's some kind of... They have some kind of interesting payment schedule, I guess. I don't know how you want to say it. So if you're buying the pay-per-view, I guess the first so many pay-per-views are a certain price. I think starting out at like $29.99, and then after they sell like the first 300,000, and then between 300 and 500,000, or $39.99, something stupid like that. What's his dad say when they're walking away? Does he say macaroni? I never found out. Oh, on Friday. I don't remember. Linton Vassell, 19 and 8, 7 knockouts, 8 submissions. Ronny Markes, 19-7, 7 knockouts, 5 submissions. This should be a really good fight. Linton Vassell, against the toughest guys in the UFC, he is always there. He is always there. He's explosive. He's a pretty good favorite tonight. Ronny Markes is actually, he's been scheduled to make his Bellator debut twice. The last time, of course, against Josh Barnett, the War Master, who failed his test and unceremoniously, I believe, retired or was cut. Linton Vassell 19-7, Ronny Markes Vassell 19-8, Markes 19-7, Vassell 5 years older at 37, 3 inches taller at 6'4". $24 for the first million pay-per-view buys. Then goes up after that. Thank you, Belly. I knew it was some kind of strange tier. All right, notable wins for Ronny Markes: Paulo Filho, Tony Lopez, Carlos Faloma, and Andrew Craig. Tony Lopez, I haven't heard that name in a while. Submitted in the first round, though, making his Bellator debut, the Warrior of God, Ronny Markes. And speaking of Soldiers of God, I wonder if Yoel Romero ends up over in Bellator. Notable wins over Sergey Karatanov, Liam McQuarrie, and many others. Linton Vassell. Referee tonight's going to be Yves Lavigne. And like I said, heavyweight, this should be a good fight, guys. It could be very quick, but it should be a good fight. All right, here we go. Oh, and a little fake touch of gloves there. Ronny Markes not touching. Vassell put his glove out, it looked like, and Markes decided not to. Vassell in the red gloves, Markes in the blue. Both of these guys have a lot of power. Nice low leg kick from Markes to start out. He looks a little apprehensive here, though, on his Bellator debut. And with good reason, Linton Vassell hits like a Mack truck. Front kick to the body there from Linton. Both these guys have a lot of first round finishes. And between the two, you're looking at about 80% finish rate between the two. Oh, nice low leg kick from Markes. Vassell gets that grip, though. He's got some dirty boxing. And Ronny Markes showing how strong he is, too, here up against the fence, though. Both guys working for position. This is a lot of man beast right now. And Markes kind of gets the takedown, but doesn't turn Vassell over all the way. And Vassell ends up on top in Markes' guard. Both these guys, a lot of weight to move. And Linton Vassell, I mean, he has some violent ground and pound. I mean, he's messing with you, Derp. Or, Torin Derp's messing with you. Kills your legs, then your face. Oh, Jesus. All right, and nice little short elbows from the top here for Linton Vassell. Main event tonight between Velazquez and Ilima Lei Macfarlane. Battle of the Undefeated. So Lei Macfarlane, she's already got 4 title defenses, 11-0. Velazquez 10-0. I think it's going to be a good matchup. I saw elbows to the body there from Vassell, who's moved to half guard here. Oh, and just shoving his elbow on the neck of Markes. Oh, man, hammer fists and the short elbows here from Vassell. Ronny Markes, he is not having a fun debut right now. Markes trying to rock back and forth, trying to get an escape there. Vassell's got to be careful with the glove there. He's got to be careful he doesn't poke Markes in the eyes. He was pushing on his face. Nice hammer fist there from Vassell. Tilts on that to his face. Oh, that's funny. I seen the greatest thing the other day. Somebody made a belt. And it looks like kind of like the championship belt with like the leather, and then they put a keyboard on it. It was a Keyboard Warrior championship belt. I thought it was pretty hilarious. And Linton Vassell moving to half guard here. No, Markes keeps that leg hooked. So trying to move to south side control here, but this has still been a good position for Vassell to strike from. Looking for some kind of submission, possibly a Kimura. That's a pretty hard one to get at heavyweight, but Vassell, he's a really strong guy. All I'm saying is Tony is going to hurt Charles. I think so. I think Tony should win that fight. Charles Oliveira, I mean, don't count the guy out. He's tough as hell. But it's not an easy fight for Tony, but Tony should definitely win. Nice right hands from the top here from Vassell. Hey, of course, no problem, Clavid. Appreciate you being here, sir. Hey. You know, we all have our struggles through this, and I got to say, I look forward to doing this, during the week. I'm happy for the 3 events, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We got Bellator tonight, we got BKFC tomorrow, and then we got a big UFC on Saturday. To go back a little bit to what we were talking about with the UFC layoffs, a class action lawsuit has been okayed to go forward against the UFC. It will involve well over 1,000 fighters. I don't think the UFC is getting out of this one unscathed. I think there might be some kind of settlement outside of court, but I don't think they're getting out unscathed. Charles looked like Tony mixed with Anthony Pettis. Oh, jeez, that's hilarious. They look similar, kinda. All right, but I mean that could be a big part of some of the fighters, being, being ousted as well. But you got to think about it, though, guys. This is something that actually Chael brought up. I was listening to Chael Sonnen the other day, and I hadn't really thought about it, but he said, let's look at this. He goes, beside Divas and Figueiredo, no champion in the UFC officially has a fight scheduled right now. We kind of know who a lot of people are fighting, but they're not signed. Stipe versus Francis Ngannou, we're looking for it sometime in February or March. That fight has not been signed, though officially. Even Peter Yan and Aljamain Sterling, that one's not officially signed. Watched Charles fighting Kevin the other day and beat him. Tony and him came to a decision. And Linton Vassell. Oh, he was going for a strong guillotine there, but Ronny Markes breaks through. Both these guys are very strong. And I think that's one of Ronny Markes' that's one of his biggest strengths. Is the guy's a bully, strong as hell. Linton Vassell, I think, has a little better technique, though, and Vassell ends up on top again. Oh, nice short elbow here. More short elbows. And, I mean, Markes, he might even be stronger than Vassell. Vassell he's strong as hell. Oh, nice big elbow here. There, but, technique, leverage, all those things, of course, are a big part of it. And at this level, you can't just out-muscle everybody. And then going to no decision. Ferguson is going to TKO Charles round 2. All right, we'll pin that. We'll put that on the... we'll remember that for the stream here too, Torn. I wouldn't doubt. That's not a bad guess. Oliveira, he's not an easy guy to finish, though. I wouldn't be surprised to see those guys end up on the ground in a jiu-jitsu match. I also wouldn't be surprised to see them both striking it out. And both of those guys, they're both very similar because they're really well-balanced martial artists. They're guys that can do it standing and on the ground. And I just think Tony's a little better at both. I think he's a little better striker, a little better at the jiu-jitsu. And Oliveira, I mean, he's right there. He's top of the food chain, but just a level before Tony, or below Tony, I think, in just about everything. Yeah, both been in it for a minute. Yeah. I just know Charles loves to quit when things go tough. He always looks for a way out. Oh, man, and Linton Vassell now in full mount on Ronny Markes, and Ronny Markes doesn't exactly look like he's having the time of his life in here right now. Maybe the worst time of his life. Better than his old days. Oh, nice ground and pound. Nice left hooks. Oh, big elbow here for Linton Vassell. I really don't see Ronny Markes getting out of this position this round, though. Oh, and here, elbows, big ground and pound. Yves Lavigne going to be looking on, and he ducks down to get in closely. And there it is. Vassell pours on the ground and pound, and Yves Lavigne saves Ronny Markes from more punishment. And Markes, I just don't think was going to get out of that position. Good win there for Linton Vassell. I used to hate Charles Oliveira. Just clever. So, big win here for Linton Vassell. Ronny Markes unsuccessful in his Bellator debut. Like I said, this is the third time he was scheduled to make that debut. I believe both times he was supposed to be fighting Josh Barnett, if I'm not mistaken. And then this last one, Barnett pissed hot. And that was, unfortunately, pretty much the end for him. Wow. Linton Vassell is a scary dude. I don't know. I think he could take Tony now. I do. Some reason I have a feeling Charles is going to come at Ferguson very aggressively from the start of Bell round 1. I do not think that at all. But if he does, I think he's going to have issues. And I think it could be a real quick night for him. But I think Oliveira is going to show Tony more respect. I think he's going to come in pretty apprehensive, honestly. I won't bet on it because I'm not a betting man, but I think Charles has a chance. Oh, he definitely has a chance. I mean, they're two top of the food chain fighters. Magomed Magomedov coming up next. 16-1, 4 knockouts, 7 subs. He's currently on a 3-fight win streak. And there's so many of these guys with similar names, but I want to say this is the guy that was in PFL. And he was going to win. He was in like the fight to go to the finals or before the finals. And then where you have to fight 2 times in one night. I believe they said that he couldn't fight because of a cut. And I don't remember exactly what happened. I don't think that's the loss. But I don't know. He's taking on Mattos, who his lone loss was to Peter Yan in the UFC. Yeah, this next fight's actually pretty intriguing. It is at bantamweight. Matheus Mattos. I don't know if I've ever met anyone. I don't think the name Matheus. I've seen Matthew a lot. Matheus, that's pretty creative. Yeah, but see how aggressive Charles came at Kevin Lee? Yeah, that's Kevin Lee. True. Love this fight between Charles and Tony. I think it's going to be a fun fight. You know, I don't doubt that. These guys, it's definitely my pick for fight of the night. I know, you know, Davison Figueiredo versus Moreno. That's going to be a great fight. Both of those guys fighting, I believe, on it's like 28 days since their last fight. They both had a quick finish at UFC 255, and they both said, hey, we'll turn around and do it again. Davison Figueiredo, he is just a madman. Wish Viacom would force Bellator to change name and give them more exposure. Add some commercials on big TV network. Absolutely, Billy. I mean, they've been playing with Bellator's balls for, how many years now, but it's like they don't want to put the ring on. 3 minutes, 37 seconds. Linton Vassell, TKO here in the second round. Damn. And, I mean, he was a beast at light heavyweight. He's a beast at heavyweight. And, I mean, Bellator, they're getting some pretty tough guys out there. Like I said, you got Ryan Bader that's been the heavyweight champion. I said earlier, they just signed Anthony Rebel Johnson, which poor Corey Anderson. But they got Corey Anderson. You got Phil Davis. You got Nemkov, who just took the light heavyweight belt once again. Definitely be bloody like those short elbows and subs. Yep. Also love that Kevin Holland-Jacare fight, even though I believe Holland is going to destroy him. So here's a thought. This year is definitely going to be, I think, the strangest year for Fighter of the Year, because generally it's a champion. And it hasn't always been. Fight of the Year hasn't always been. Wasn't last year? I think Jorge Masvidal got Fighter of the Year last year, and he wasn't a champion. But Kevin Holland now has a chance to be just the third fighter of all time to win 5 fights in 1 year, and I think it's a lot more impressive. I know it's a lot more impressive. To do this year, because obviously they didn't have as much time. You know, that's pretty clear, I think. Oops, you don't have as much time. You don't have... your fights are closer together. And damn, Kevin Holland, I mean, that schedule was not fun. Excuse me, guys. I got a real short cord on my device here. I got to get a longer adapter for this stupid thing. I'm going to end up breaking it. But I guess extension cords are still a thing, right? I didn't think about that, but but 60 fighters. I'd like to do an interesting thing, guys. Throw out no more than 2 fighters. Leave them for other people. But if 60 fighters are going to be cut from the UFC, who do you think is going to be cut? And please, like I said, don't put out more than 2. But just 1 or 2. I think there's some of them that are pretty obvious, and some of them were named earlier. But, let me know who you think will, and you can put in your comment, do you think they will be cut? Do you think they should be cut? All right, back to this CBS Sports Network here. So I think they will be killing each other, and that's going to be a brutal fight. Mike Perry and Tyrone Woodley's torn. I agree, so let's talk about that. Mike Perry continuing to call out fighters as he's getting his ass kicked by another one. The guy, he's not joined a regular training camp. He's got his girlfriend in his corner. He doesn't really... He's giving his boss a lot of reasons to not keep him around. And I don't know what his pay is per fight, but I think, he's gotten up there. Certainly he's in that top half. For sure. I want to say I might have seen that he was 90 to show, 90 to win. Last time I seen, he might be in the 6 figures. I'm not positive, but I think should he win some of these fights, if he ever does, I think he's taken about 200 grand out of there. And that's a pretty big cut for the UFC. Now, Tyron Woodley, he's getting that former championship money. So he's coming in guaranteed, I believe, somewhere around $300,000, maybe more. Maybe more so. And I think it's pretty easy to cut that guy. One thing to remember about guys being cut, one protection that the UFC has for fighters, and I mean, they may have went against this in the past, I'm not sure, but you're guaranteed to keep going on with your contract. They're not supposed to be able to cut you if you're coming off a win. You had to be coming off a loss. Only has to be one. But so that takes Andrei Arlovski out of there, which is a big, big payday. Andrei Arlovski, I think he's coming in about $500K guaranteed per show. It's a lot of money. Same thing with Junior Dos Santos. Now, Junior Dos Santos fighting this Saturday. I think there's probably better than a 50% chance that Junior Dos Santos gets cut by the UFC if he loses Saturday. It's just, they're looking to cut the most amount of money because it's not a personal thing. It's definitely a business thing. So they're going to look at these guys that are making the most amount of money. Junior Dos Santos, not likely, to put on a string of victories, I believe, to make a run at the title anymore. And I think this fight against, it's Cyril Gane, he comes in a slight underdog. I think this is kind of a setup of a good excuse. You're like, hey, you just lost to this guy that's making, $35,000 or whatever. Cyril Gane's not making a whole lot. I think he's like 35 or 40 to show and to win. Need to get rid of Cowboy Cerrone. I'm glad Anthony Johnson didn't come back to the UFC because they don't pay those guys right. Well, I don't know that Bellator's really paying them a whole lot more. They're paying a lot higher off the percentage of revenue they take in. That's for sure. Because they're not making any money for CBS and Viacom. Bellator would gladly add Dos Santos and Arlovsky to their senior heavyweight division. They love over 40. I believe Junior Dos Santos, I was really surprised to find out how old he was. I want to say he's only like 35. How old is Junior Dos Santos?
Junior Dos Santos.
36. So he's younger than Stipe. He was just, I think we forget how young he was when he was at his prime. And, it's been a while. What's it been, a decade since to consider that Junior Dos Santos was at his prime? I think the peak of his career was obviously that very first Fox card where he knocked out Cain Velazquez in the first round. I think that was the pinnacle of his career. Of course, Velazquez came back and won the championship from him after that. And then, dominated him again in the third bout. And he never really did make a comeback. He's had a few decent wins here and there. I don't know that Bellator would be real happy to take Arlovsky, but I think they would throw some money at Junior Dos Santos. They're starting to go in a little younger way too, though. They chose not to re-sign, and thank God, because of their last two performances were just absolutely atrocious. But they decided not to re-sign Quentin Rampage Jackson and Roy Nelson, who were in their 40s. Bellator pays way more better if they ain't like UFC, all money driven, doing what's best for business. They actually give deserving contenders their actual shot, unlike UFC. Yeah, if you're winning and you're doing good in Bellator, it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of politics going on and a whole lot stopping you from getting that title shot. And I think a good example of that, Torin, would be, they didn't just throw a title shot at Corey Anderson. They wanted to see him do something first. And, there's some people that say, hey, what you've done in other organizations, that's deserving enough for a title shot, in another organization. And it's like, I don't know who's right or wrong on that, but I like to see a guy. I'm not saying he has to, start at the bottom. I'm not saying that he, rank him outside of the top, the top 20 or anything. That would be absurd. But a guy like Michael Chandler, I don't think it's too much to ask that he take, two pretty tough fights before getting a title shot. And it seems like a lot of people really want to fast track Michael Chandler to the title, maybe without ever even fighting in the UFC. And, Corey Anderson, that's, I kind of rank them around the same. Because Corey Anderson, yeah, he was in the UFC, which is a bigger it's the bigger boys. This is the bigger competition. But he wasn't a champion. He was never a champion in the UFC. And he left the UFC on a loss. Michael Chandler leaves Bellator on a win, one of the greatest fighters in Bellator history. So when he comes over, he's probably, to say he's 2 fights away from a title shot, I don't think that's completely egregious. Even better, look at Congo. DeSanto says 10 years in Bellator then. Oh, Jesus, yeah, Congo's like 50 frickin' years old. He's literally like 47 or 48. Tell me that guy would get through USADA. He would piss a hole in the bucket. I don't like Dana White at all. He's a dirty, horrible individual. He kicks a lot of his fighters while they're down. Well, I mean, he's got some guys, and he's not my favorite guy, but I try to be fair. I think he's handled. I like the way that he's handled things this year. I really do. Getting UFC back, having the appropriate testing. He worked his ass off, finding the venues, paying fighters. Keeping guys around. He didn't ask anybody to take a pay cut when the UFC is not getting any gate right now. Nobody's getting live gate. And for the UFC, that's anywhere between $10 and $20 million an event. Well, some of them maybe not 10. But I want to say 19 million was the gate record. So, a lot of money. Enough to pay the fighters, just off the gate. I like him for doing that, but as a person, he's rotten. Understood, Torn. I could see how you would think that. So, Magomed Magomedov, the only fighter he's ever lost to is Peter Yan. And he's coming up next against Matheus Mattos, who has just one loss in his career. He's got 4 wins via knockout or submission. Mattos' lone loss came to Peter Yan. So he trains with Henry Cejudo. He's got a big chance at pulling off the upset tonight, I think, in this co-main event. But, guys that I would see cut. So here we go. Jacare Souza. They just cut Yoel Romero. Do you think if Jacare Souza loses to Kevin Holland, which odds say you do, that they're going to keep paying that paycheck? Jacare Souza's making over $200,000 a fight. I believe he's making like 200 to. He might be have the ability to make up to 300 or more with show and win bonus, but he is way up there. Way up there. Oops. All right, co-main event finally coming up here now. Magomed Magomedov versus Matheus Mattos. I don't know what's going on with DAZN, guys, for anybody that was trying to watch this on DAZN tonight. But apparently Bellator, I'm not surprised. Bellator no longer having a deal with DAZN. I don't know if DAZN's going to last even through the end of the year. I mean, they've been bleeding money for a while. Tony been getting screwed by UFC for so long, he's grown used to it. You think he ever thought about going over to Bellator? Torn? Matheus Mattos, 10 of his 12 wins by KO or submission. I said his only loss in MMA to current UFC welterweight champion Peter Yan. This is a tough fight for Magomed. Very tough. Coming out to the rocky music is Magomed Magomedov. Or was Matheus Mattos Magomed? Coming out to, I believe, some Tupac. He is the former ACB Bantamweight champion, and he defeated Peter Yan. This is actually one of Peter Yan's losses, Magomed Magomedov. So both these guys have fought Peter Yan. Magomed defeated him. Mattos' lone loss was to Yan. So high-level fight. Both men 28 years old. Magomed 16-1. Matheus 12-1. Magomed 2 inches taller at 5'7", and Magomed will have a 2-inch reach advantage at 69 inches. This fight in the Bellator Bantamweight division. And this is the co-main event here, guys. And we're only how long in? An hour? All right, here we go with 12 victories, 11 wins by finish. Matheus Mattos. All right, making his Bellator debut, 11 of 16 wins by knockout or submission. 16-1 as a professional, Magomed Magomedov. Kevin McDonald will be the referee. All right, a touch of gloves, and here we go. Mattos in the black and green shorts with the blue gloves. Magomedov in the red gloves with the black and white. And Magomed immediately shooting. Oh my goodness, and Mattos immediately puts on a vicious choke attempt. Magomedov is able to get out. Mattos, wow, that was quick reflexes. And that's something Mattos has got to do quickly, is he's got to tell Magomedov, hey, every time you're going to go for a takedown, you're going to get punished. You're coming into the danger zone. You're going to need to eat an elbow. You're going to risk getting submitted. You're going to eat a knee. I want Dustin to beat Connor. I'm not surprised. Yeah, it's like 2020. Time passes. Right? Damn. Dana White tries to give the fans the fights they want. A lot of these guys whine and cry. Dana isn't their buddy. He's their boss. They perform better. There would be more demand for them. And I think that's both sides of the coin. I think the truth is somewhere in the middle. Not the truth, not to say that, what either one of you guys said isn't true. But, there's give and take with Dana White. There always has been. And, yeah, Magomed, wow, he's got Matheus around the waist, and it is no easy task to get away from this guy. Boom! Big slam. Whoa, right on the head. Wow, that was a beautiful slam there for Magomed Magomedov. Of course, the comparisons to Khabib Nurmagomedov have been, unmistakable and unavoidable. Whether he likes it or not. What's up, Archangel? They ain't WWE stars, the UFC cage fighters. They wish Dana was Vince McMahon. Oh, nice knees here from Magomed. Well, like I said earlier, there is a class action lawsuit that is being allowed to go to the next level. Over 1,000 fighters are involved. Everybody currently on the roster, and for so many years back, I believe that they will not leave this lawsuit unscathed. I think maybe there'll be some kind of settlement out of court. But maybe bigger news to the UFC is WME. They're losing money on everything but the UFC. And, I mean, they are in financial dire straits. They could end up having to sell the UFC, which I fully expect that they will have to sell the UFC, even with that big ESPN contract. And don't be surprised if the Fertitta brothers come and snatch it back up for a discount. Big slam there for Magomed Magomedov. And he is tying Matheus up against the fence here. Vince has more money, though. I was saying it should be happening to WWE. They fired so many wrestlers this year after their competition basically died. I think UFC is doing something similar, monopolizing the new market. Dana way cheaper. What's part of it is they're not going to want to give away their biggest stars to Bellator. They're not just going to like roll over and say, oh, okay, Bellator can be a competitor now. But them actually dropping some of these guys and giving Bellator a chance to sign some of them, it might bode well for them during that lawsuit and saying, hey, you know, free agents, we've even let guys out of contracts, which they've done recently. They let Corey Anderson out of his contract. I don't know what the deal was with Anthony Rumble Johnson. I really hadn't heard. But if he was to come back, he was supposed to have, you know, a certain amount of fights still in the UFC. They didn't hold him to that. Oh, nice shots and a big knee here from Magomed. Big first round for Magomed Magomedov. This guy's name, yikes. WWE had the same with WCW Nitro, guys. Jump ship all day. Oh, that was the golden days of wrestling, yeah. You think they get rid of Tony Ferguson? Nah. I really don't think so. It depends on I don't think so. He wasn't even really a guy that was too much on my mind. If he loses, it's like, I don't think so. I don't think so. That would be too big of a win for Bellator. I think he's got a lot of fans. A lot of guys really like watching Tony fight, including myself. And I just think, I think he's done too much in too short of a time. They make UFC match the contract, and they end up feeding the enemy. That is true, Archangel. That definitely happens. And then, see, there you go. You're advertising Showtime Championship Boxing. For those guys that remember Elite XC, Elite XC was on Showtime. And then eventually on Big CBS. Wow! Beautiful flying kick there from Magomedov. Very athletic. Oh, and the spinning back fist attempt misses. But there's the right hand and the body kick. Flying knee attempt there from Magomed. Big left hook for Magomedov. And this is where he's much different than Khabib was. Whoa, and the spinning wheel kick attempt is that his striking is on point. His striking is very, very good. Yeah, he's got the dominating wrestling, but, I mean, he's a scary dude. He is a balanced mixed martial artist. And actually, Mattos goes for the takedown. And here's Magomedov sprawls, and I think Magomedov might say, hey, you really want to go to the ground that bad? I'll go ahead and take you there. And he's got one leg up against the fence here. We'll see if he decides to break and go back to the center of the cage to fight, or if he's going to slam Mattos back down to the ground. I think it's pretty much up to him at this point, though. Conor 6 of 10 highest pay-per-views. Money talks. Bellator has to do the Ted Turner strategy and outdo UFC by buying out all streaming, making it streaming versus pay-per-view. Buying out all streaming. Well, I'm not sure what you mean, because UFC is exclusively streaming through ESPN. So they're not going to buy them out. And Bellator just cut ties, it looks like, with DAZN. I'm not sure who cut ties with who, but they're no longer aligned. No, I would say Showtime and CBS. And I would build it just like that. I would have, remember back in the days of the wrestling, it's like you would always watch the wrestling weeks to build up to the pay-per-view. You can have the events on Showtime to build up to your big CBS show. And I mean, Elite XC, they have Elite XC on CBS. For those who don't know, they have by far the highest U.S. MMA numbers ever. I believe they went over $10 million. Or 10 million viewers, excuse me, with Kimbo Slice. DAZN dead AF. Open slot for Bellator. Well, why don't they just do their own thing? DAZN will be gone within 60 days. Yeah, I think you're right, Billy. I think that's pretty much the end of them. They paid out way too much money, including $365 million to Canelo Alvarez. Also a nine figures guaranteed to Anthony Joshua. It got crazy. I miss Kimbo Slice. Wish he was still here. Yeah, he was a great guy. I would have loved to see him as a commentator too, because he just had a unique way of seeing everything, kind of like Mike Tyson. And Magomed Magomedov got hooks in. It's got the backpack here on Matheus Mattos, and I mean, there is almost nothing that burns your legs out like the backpack. Like having to walk with the guy completely on your back and hooks in. And Magomed, nice right hand here, striking Mattos while he can, trying to set up this rear naked choke. Nice elbows. Oh, wow, and that worked. Mattos with the elbows there got Magomedov to let go, but Magomedov just picks him up around the waist and slams him right back down to the canvas. Magomedov, he can do what he wants when he wants, seemingly, in this fight. R.I.P. Kimbo. Yeah, how much Bellator worth? You think it's in ballpark of UFC? Oh, no, absolutely not. Oh, a big flurry here from Magomedov. And a sharp elbow well after the bell. And the referee warned him. He said, hey, that's after the bell. So it almost looked like he knew that he was throwing that after the bell. Well, Pride's kind of back over in Japan under Ryzen. They're having a New Year's Eve card. And, they have that same lady that announced, the same announcer that they had for Pride, and a lot of the same people. Of course, all those fighters are too old. They're all in Bellator or UFC in their late 30s, which I would say Mauricio Shogun, who I would think he's got to be one of those guys on the chopping block. Oh, look, Connor. Yep, you see people are talking about Nip Hustle. I've heard that name. I'm not sure who that is. Nah, not Kobe. All right, here we go. Is he a basketball player? I know I've heard that name. Like around rappers or something. Touch of gloves. Kobe had so many connections with guys who's still playing. Yep. All right, Mattos, he's got to do something completely different. Nice low leg kick there from Magomedov. He's got to just go for broke and hope something lands. Nice inside leg kick for Magomed. But yeah, Magomed's, he's been playing Mattos like a fiddle right now. He just wants to get the finish. Nice body kick there from Magomed. Oh, and Magomed shoots deep. And he gets the leg. And, just like the guy he trained with, Khabib, he's relentless. Finishes with the sweep. Gets the back of Mattos. And Mattos, he's a tough guy to take down and a tough guy to keep there. But, Magomed's had him there for a pretty good percentage of this fight. And beat him standing as well. Probably had his own alliance. Well, when you're that big, I'm sure in organizations like the NFL and the NBA and stuff, I'm sure there's groups of friends that network with their business, their marketing, everything. And I'm sure they hang out, in certain areas during the off season or even during the season. Nice knee there from Magomed. Even outside their team. I know it happens in baseball. Just saying, like when a person was dead for so long, they forget all about. Oh man. Years later, nobody's talking about him. Yeah, no, I hear you, man. Oh, what's up, Sam 302? Audio sounds great. Glad you got it fixed. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I kept thinking it was something on OBS or something with me. Apparently, it was just that new mic. So I went and I bought. I know, some people talk smack about them and say they're a little overpriced, but I went and got a Yeti at the Blue Yeti, and it's solid so far. So can't complain. What do people want? To see a Conor fight or Tony fight? If they were in different organizations and headlining competing pay-per-views, Conor sells more every time. Personally, I'd rather see Tony, but yeah, I know 90% of people, a good percentage would want to see Conor. Well, I won't say that I definitely want to see Tony. It would depend on who they were fighting. Midlife crisis personified. What's up, Stephen McHugh? I hear you, Torin. You try not to. Hooks in here for Magomed Magomedov. And it's hard, especially for people that have deep relationships with people. I think. Torin, like I had a deep relationship with my grandfather, passed away it's been about a decade, I think. And even my mother-in-law, big ground and pound here from Magomed Magomedov. And it really brings me down to, to think about him, but a lot of times I'll see something and smile and think about him. My grandpa when he was younger, had a beard similar to mine, I guess, so. And Magomed Magomedov with hooks in. And Matheus Mattos, I would really like to see him. I can't wait to see him fight again. You can tell that he's got a lot of skills there. Magomed he might be the best bantamweight in Bellator already, and I think he is. I think he definitely is. The guy, and is it surprising? The guy's got a victory over the UFC's welterweight champion, bantamweight champion, if I can talk today, Peter Yan. And Mattos doing everything he can to try to turn out of this. Probably just impressive enough that he's not submitted here, but Magomed, he is a nasty, nasty fighter. And, he came in and just really put on a show. And he said something respectfully, I think, put his arm around Mattos and said something in his ear. I'm not sure what, but man, see that replay when he dropped him on his head early in the fight. What's up, Wyatt? Darn people forget about them because it's the best way to move forward. If you keep them in your thoughts, it become easy to drown and grieve. Yeah, I was just saying that one. That's definitely true. That would be part of it for me. Wyatt in the house. I'm still down for Conor versus Nagano. I'll pay for that one. I'll pay for that one for sure. It looks like Nagano versus Stipe is very close, but not technically signed. Which, I don't even know what to say about that. That's interesting. But as I was saying earlier, of all of the UFC champions, there's only one of them that technically has a fight signed right now. I don't know if that's ever, I don't know in modern MMA history if that's ever been the case. We have nothing signed for any champion except for Deiveson Figueiredo. We know Stipe is probably going to fight Francis Ngannou in February or March, and there's no reason to think that has changed, but the contract's not signed. Peter Yan and Aljamain Sterling, everybody thinks that fight is going to happen, but the contract's not signed. Israel Adesanya and Blachowicz, same thing. They've both agreed that they want to fight each other, contract not signed. Can Stipe even see after all those eye pokes? Kind of seems important to be able to see against Ngannou. Well, I know he had surgery. I know his career was almost over. Almost ended from those eye pokes from Daniel Cormier. And I like Cormier, don't get me wrong, but I was even listening to Chael the other day. Everybody tiptoes around the fact that, that DC poked him in the eye so many times in their first two fights. And even, like I said, Chael, was saying, well, Stipe's had some eye problems. And he didn't allude as to even what caused them. .30-26. And two judges scoring at 30-27. Easy, Magomed Magomedov. I have a cousin who lost her son in the army. He's been dead for 13 years now. Damn. Still grieving, but she only does that because she made him go to the army. She don't get damn. Well, it's not her fault. Things happen. How about the UFC letting go of Yoel Romero? Yep, Yoel is a once-in-a-decade type of athlete. It surprised me more when... Oh, did Bellator turn Romero down? I knew they turned Anderson Silva down. I did not hear anything about Romero. So this is what if I was Romero, if they can talk him into it, and this would be a huge thing for the PFL. It's a bit of a gimmick, and maybe a little bit more than a bit of a gimmick. But check this out. PFL tournament coming in 2021, which I'm still not sure that that's going to happen, by the way. I think PFL may be out of business as well. I think they're holding on by a thread, and I don't believe that they're going to have the 2021 season that they've been advertising. But assuming they do, take Yoel Romero. He can be a double champion in that. Easy. You just have him fight on different nights, which the light heavyweights and heavyweights don't fight at the same time anyways. Have him enter in two different divisions. Has anyone ever competed in two Grand Prix simultaneously in 2 different weight classes? I don't think they have. So that would be interesting. And I think Yoel Romero, I mean, he's going to be a huge favorite against anybody at light heavyweight or heavyweight in PFL. So, let's see if he can take them all out. Yeah, Bellator turned Romero down. Damn, I cannot believe that. He is old, though. It's a shame if he was in his early 30s. Imagine if he came in and he was, when he was young. Yep, go to Ryzen. Oh, I'll start doing some more Ryzens then. My goodness. So, yep, Bellator turned down Anderson and Yoel. Yeah, like I said, they seem to be looking to go younger, too. And spend less money on some of these guys that have been around forever. And that's one of the big things that, one feather in the cap I always thought for Dana White was his loyalty to fighters that have been around for a while. And you would see guys, like Alistair Overeem, he might not be pulling a lot of fans anymore, especially, on the bottom of, a main event. Same thing with JDS, who's fighting this next Saturday, Andrei Arlovsky, and they're writing out $500,000 plus paychecks to these guys, and they're probably not getting that back. And that, to me, was kind of like that respect. Hey, this is what you did for the sport. We even seen the UFC do it, for guys like Vanderlei, after he came from Pride, even though he was never really that successful in UFC. They paid him a lot of money. It's a young man's sport. You want to be the best, not the veterans mobbing up. Yep, Bellator and PFL turned down Yoel. PFL too? Wow. Francis versus Stipe would be a tough one to pick. Yeah, I cannot wait for that fight. It's very tough, I think, moving forward. Yeah, I agree, Wyatt. PFL isn't interested. And Yoel either. Wow, damn. Well, that blows away that. Wow. I mean, that, yeah. I am very surprised at that. I don't even know what to say to that. Now, PFL, like I said, I don't think that they're going to have a 2021 season. I think they're going to pull the plug on this. I mean, unless they got some guys with just some extremely deep pockets. I know they do have a contract now with ESPN as well. But I just don't see them being able. They've been paying the fighters through the pandemic when they're not competing. And I mean, that's a lot of money. And then to give everybody $1 million again, plus all their purses, plus $250,000 to the runner up for each weight division. I don't know that they're able to make their money back. I don't know that that's going to work. I went on to buy to support them. I went on the PFL website because I got an email that they were having a 50% off sale for Black Friday for PFL gear. And I was like, damn, I'll take a PFL shirt and I'll buy a hat and I'll buy maybe a hoodie and, because they were really good prices. I mean, the regular shirts were like, they were like 20 to 30 for the t-shirts normally, and then they were half off of that. So I'm like, that's a great deal. Well, everything I went and put in my cart, it all turned to small. That's all they had left of anything was small. And it's not that expensive to continue to make shirts. So I think it's just a thought. I don't have any inside information, but I think they might be liquidating. Anthony Johnson is too old. He's the same age as Tony. You has to go on Dancing with the Stars. Hell yeah, he should. Oh, please. I have only watched a few episodes ever. I think it was Randy was on there. I watched Evander Holyfield back in the day when he went on there. But yeah, I'd watch it if Yoel went on there. It's insane. If you're not fighting for Bellator and UFC, then why even keep fighting? Yoel might have to hang him up. Well, he got a large settlement from Six Star Performance. I mean, that was several millions of dollars. I don't think he's hurting for money. But yeah, it's very interesting. Man, I guess that fight against Israel Adesanya really turned a lot of people off when he didn't engage. But who would have thought a guy would fight for the title, for the UFC middleweight title against, one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, and that if he lost, not only would he be cut by the UFC, that he would not have any offers from any other secondary organizations. Juliana Vasquez comes in the -170 favorite tonight against the champion, Ilima Lei Macfarlane. I did not know that until they just showed that right now. That is breaking to me. Ilima Lei Macfarlane, the champion, is the underdog. The only other time I remember seeing the champion be an underdog, I'm sure it's happened many more times, but the only other one that I remember was Francis Ngannou being favored over Stipe Miocic. And Juliana Velazquez, I want to say she was an Invicta FC champion. I don't usually watch Invicta, so I'm not real familiar with all the champions, but it's Cheick Kongo is only 45? I thought he's 47 or 48. Once you hit 40, they need a transfer to elderly mixed martial arts. Oh, Jesus. Dana White logic. Yoel is 1-3 in his last 4, but he's a monster. It's going to be a huge problem for Izzy. You have no choice but to cut him. Kind of, yeah. Anderson and Yoel, I think they probably are done for good. Turn down Yoel when you have a whole 45-year-old in Congo. Well, for one thing, when they signed Congo to that contract, this was before the pandemic. This was, things were a lot different. And I think Bellator is finally starting to try to trend towards younger fighters and towards home-built fighters, which I love to see. I love home-built fighters. When you take somebody that's got some skills and you build them up and you market them correctly, and they become a star. It's not easy to do. But the other side of this is I'm just guessing, and I think this is a pretty damn good guess, that Yoel Romero probably demands a hell of a lot higher salary than Cheick Kongo. Check to Yoel, just come over here easy. I may hire Yoel to beat up my neighbor if he can't find employment. Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's my only thinking on that, Torn. Then Anthony Johnson is younger. He's 36. That's not far from 40. Younger is like, well, yeah, he's not younger, but as a guy who's 42, I can tell you 36 feels a lot different than 40, unfortunately. And I cannot even imagine. I have so much respect for, Mike Tyson and Roy. And Roy, I would have liked to see him, engage with Mike a little bit more, even if he had to go out on the Shield a few weeks ago. But man, Mike at 54, to be able to do what he's doing and come in and just to get in that shape and be that fast and everything, absolutely amazing. Mad respect. John Jones almost 40, although he's 38. And when Yoel did the backflip and his jaw dropped, yep. Yeah, that guy's such a freak athlete. It is insane. I don't know. I think he's probably the most athletic guy that was ever in the UFC. And the fact that he came in the UFC around 40 years old, come on. That's insane. Yeah, imagine that guy in his prime. Yeah, it's a travesty that we missed out on those years with Yoel, but it was fun watching him while we did. Please win, champ, plus 150. Let's go. What's up, Ray Blankage? You put some money down? Jones 30. I was going to say, I was about to look that up. I was like, I didn't think John was that old. Had to hire Yoel as my bodyguard. Dude, nobody's messing with you with that guy around. I bet you he weighs 240. I bet you he walks around at 200 and somewhere between 220 and 240 pounds. And I'm sure if he'd went into Bellator, he would have went in as a light heavyweight. But, I understand Bellator not signing Yoel. PFL not signing Yoel, that just further signals to me that they're probably done, that they may not come back, which is extremely unfortunate because World Series of Fighting was a great fight. Put $10 on McFarlane, plus 160. Nice. Nice, Wyatt. You all basically retired. Yeah, I mean, he's got the money. Looking back, I remember he was trying to steal someone's girlfriend. He was? I don't think so. My money's on the chick whose name I can't pronounce. That's funny. I'm going to assume that's Ilima Lei Macfarlane. But yeah, very, very, very rarely is a champion the underdog. And, I mean, this is another thing. I'm pretty surprised that Bellator put their champion against somebody that would be an odds-on favorite against them. Because, I mean, they've put a lot into marketing Ilima Lei Macfarlane. I mean, she's one of their most popular champions. She's right there. She's probably top 3. I think Cyborg, gets right in there. Chandler's gone. Their 2 most popular champions. Well, no, you got Gegard Mousasi and you got Ryan Bader. And McFarlane, she may be 3rd. It's probably between McFarlane and Cyborg. He's hitting on Pettis' girlfriend. Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's the last thing you want is Yoel Romero hitting on your girlfriend. But what's Pettis going to do? He could hit Romero with one of those, flying kicks off the cage, and Romero would be like getting hit by a fly. It's that classic problem of having no grip on his feet. Oh, he does slide around a lot. Takes away all his explosiveness. Imagine when he put Stickum on his feet. Ha! Pettis is so pissed, but what could he do? Not a whole hell of a lot, I guess. All right, and the music here for the challenger. The challenger and the favorite. Like I said, Juliana Vasquez. And guys, I have a slight feeling that this one could go the distance. Both of these girls are undefeated and very good, so I am going to run out and get a real quick drink of something to make sure I make it through, and I will be right back. Guys, don't forget to join us for BKFC tomorrow, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. I cannot wait. I know I've said this a few times, but it still rings true. Bare Knuckle Boxing. A few weeks ago when we did bare knuckle boxing, that was the most fun I've had all year doing a stream. Godbeer versus Shoemaker. And the only guy to ever hang up on me and be rude to me in an interview, Charles Felony Bennett's going to lose again against Tyler Goodjohn. Ilima Lei Macfarlane 11-0 against Velazquez 10-0. All right, guys, 5-minute rounds for the Bellator Flyweight Championship. Yep, Crazy Horse is fighting tomorrow, man. Not ready to see Yoel ever fight again. Maybe he'll fight in bare knuckle. Imagine Yoel in bare knuckle. All right, guys. Out of the blue corner, notable wins against Alejandra Lara, Rebecca Ruth. She is 10-0 as a mixed martial artist out of Brazil. Juliana Vasquez. Our notable wins against Kate Jackson, Valerie Letourneau, Alejandra Londra. She is the Bellator Flyweight Champion, Ilima Lei Macfarlane. Dan Mergliotta will be the referee. All right, who's everybody got for this one? I'm going to go with the challenger, Juliana Vasquez, actually. I think we're going to have a new championship, a new champion. All right, here we go. All right, Velazquez, the blue gloves, McFarlane with the red. And Juliana Vasquez, a judo world champion. Crazy Horse, yes. You remember when Seattle Mike used to dress up to do commentary for his streams? I miss the good old days. One of these days, I might have to again, right? Nice inside leg kick there for Velazquez. Wow, Velazquez much, much taller than Ilima. And Ilima, oh, nice right hand over the top from Velazquez. Ilima throwing a lot of feints from the outside. Now he dresses COVID. Oh, jeez. Are people saying they want the suit back? Oh, this combination there for McFarlane. She's leaving herself open a lot coming in, though. I'll keep that in mind, Crunch. McFarlane having a real... Oh, there she lands the right hand. She's having a real hard time getting inside the reach of Velazquez here, though. And a lot on the line, of course, for both these women. Both undefeated. McFarlane, of course, the belt on... Well, both of them the belt on top of it. I mean, every time you put your belt up, you're kind of the challenger as well. Unless there's a draw, somebody's walking out of there with it. Bring back the suit. Missed your bare knuckle stream. Dang. Hey, there's one tomorrow, man. And Charles Felony Bennett will be fighting tomorrow. See Charles Oliveira, coach, saying the reason Tony Ferguson is whining about Oliveira making weight because of his size. No, I didn't. But Oliveira has missed weight numerous times over his career by as much as 8 pounds. Nice 1-2 there from McFarlane. And good head movement from McFarlane. I mean, she is so much smaller. She's so much shorter. I did not realize how much shorter McFarlane was than Velazquez. And both women missing here. I think, we got a minute left. But so far, I think McFarlane is winning this round. Oh, nice 1-2 there from Velazquez. And I do like on the bottom here, and on CBS, really seems to be trying to market Bellator. Nice front kick to the body there from Velazquez. given all their history at the bottom of the screen, all their different champions, the biggest winning streaks. Hasn't missed weight at 55. Yes, you're correct. Well, thank you, Archangel. Oh, nice little leg kick there from Velazquez. A big left and a right on the temple. And I might have to take back what I said. I think Velazquez took this round, a close round here in this last 30 seconds or so. I'm going to call that first round 10-9 Juliana Vasquez. It definitely looks like two different weight classes. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous looking. I didn't realize Macfarlane was, I don't know if she's that short or Juliana's just that ridiculously tall for 125 or what. But, I missed that on the tail of the tape, I guess. Or it didn't jump out at me until you see him in the cage. I know. How the hell did that happen, right, Billy? I did win 5 in a row before last week. Last week I sucked. But what about... I should have traded you McCaffrey apparently the whole time. That guy's never going to play. Christian McCaffrey, the biggest bust of the year. My goodness, that guy, he can't do anything without getting hurt. Now he's not expected to play next week. I thought, man, if I can just hold on until I get McCaffrey back, but and I saw a combination to the body there from Macfarlane. Big John McCarthy agrees with me giving Velazquez the first round. Oh, big right hand there from Velazquez. And there seems to be a big difference in power between these two. When Velazquez hits Macfarlane, it really does, like Wyatt says, it looks like she's getting hit by somebody in a different weight class. And just looking at Macfarlane now, I mean, I don't remember looking at her so much before, but it kind of seems like she would benefit from being a 115er. I mean, she looks like, almost like Michelle Watterson, who even fought at 105. Caffrey isn't playing this week. They just said he is not likely to play. Who leads? What's up, Priego? What's up, Priego? I gave the first round to Velazquez. So I believe Velazquez is winning. And my stream froze temporarily. Just a second here, guys. I have to reset the fight clock, but Seth MacFarlane and this chick. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I have Mike Davis. Man, Mike Davis has been doing well. So that's true. That hurt me last week when they were on bye and I didn't have Mike Davis or MacFarlane because I have not. I've been living off of the waiver wire on running backs for quite a while. Who is the number one? Is that you, Torrin Brown? All right, guys. So got 2:23, 22, 21, 2:20 left in the second. I'm going to kill the fight clock, and I'll update you guys if you're looking to sync up. Got 2:12, 2:11, 2:10 left in the second. Why are you starting Frank Gore? The Jets are playing a different running back. I need to look at my team. Why did you say Crazy Horse was the only guy who was rude to you? Yeah, he was pretty rude. He was really drunk and high, though. Then he hung up on me. But also because I called him Crazy Horse, though, so apparently he doesn't like that name anymore. And McFarlane inside looking to get that takedown. Good defense so far here from Velazquez, though. And I would be surprised to see Ilima Lei Macfarlane throw or sweep Velazquez. Nice knees to the body there from Macfarlane. Oh, and Macfarlane starts to get the sweep, but Velazquez reverses it and ends up on top. And Velazquez in the open guard of Macfarlane now. Round 2, who leads? It's Velazquez, man. It's crazy. 4's on a 20-fight losing streak or something. I heard that's... I think he's lost like at least 10. Saw Crazy Horse just win a bare knuckle. No way he's lost. Oh, did he win? Oh, I thought this was his first bare knuckle. I know he lost 9 in a row because I know he said that himself on one of his streams. I'll still tune in every once in a while. Just, he is an entertaining guy. So who has tried Proper 12 whiskey, by the way? Has anybody liked it? I just thought it was a little bit of a young whiskey. I see that they're advertising here for Bellator, but I'm seeing it now all the time on the shelves everywhere. For a while it was hard to find. It was only in a few places. But, I mean, it's right there with the Jameson and the Jack now. So, I mean, good on him for... doing so well there. But Bellator's still a free agent. Or Brock Lesnar. Oh, Bellator spend the money. Put him versus Bader on CBS. For name recognition, obviously Lesnar would be a lot more lucrative signing than Yoel Romero. And even Anderson Silva here in the States. Anderson Silva still, they worship him over there in Brazil. He's not going to have a hard time finding fights. He can go over there in Brazil and they'll throw, they'll throw a truck of money at him if that's what he wants. I'm pretty sure. Saw a video of Mark Coleman pushing Joe Rogan across the room. Really? How long ago was that? So I had some around last Christmas. My brother-in-law got a bottle. Wasn't bad. Pretty smooth. Nothing special. Yeah, well, I'd like to try it now or in a little while because what I had heard was that it tasted a little young and that it needed to sit in the barrel for longer. But, I'll support I like to support ventures from fighters, even if they're not my favorite fighters. Nice 1-2 there from Velazquez. And a nice low leg kick. And defends the takedown here. Macfarlane really working hard on that leg. And now Velazquez walking around on one hand. Macfarlane finally gets her down for a moment. But Velazquez stands right back up and pushes Macfarlane back into the fence there. And Macfarlane's got a bad cut above her right eye. And I don't know if there was a headbutt or something that was illegal, but I haven't heard the referee say. Use Lesnar to bring in viewers and put your stars on the rest of the card. Recipe for success. Yep. Super old, and he apologized to Joe because he was hammered. I figured it was a long-ass time ago. I would have seen Tank Abbott doing that before Mark, but nice left hand there from Macfarlane. And Mark Coleman, I mean, he's such a nice guy. Speaking of him, still thoughts and prayers for him recovering. I believe he is out of the hospital now, but just suffered a heart attack a little over a week ago, I think. Maybe it's 2 weeks ago. Round 3, who dominant? I have Velazquez winning this one again. Nice 1-2 to the chest there, though, from Ilima. That's a lot of blood on the face there of Macfarlane. Jake Hager lost a tooth in his last Bellator fight. Damn. Well, that's the sport. I still remember Art Davey telling me on stream about UFC 1, and this is the first time I had heard this. When he told me was, when that first tooth was lost from Taylor Tooley, I believe it was Gerard Gordeau, kicked his tooth out. It went into the front row, and it actually landed like in the lap of one of the Gatorade executives, and they were thinking about marketing it, and they left. They were done. That was it. Nice left hand there from Macfarlane. They didn't know what was to come. And just a lot of filling out. A lot of this fight has really just been Macfarlane, having a hard time getting inside the range of Velazquez. And I'm going to say 3-0 so far here for Velazquez. But Velazquez, 3 rounds lead. Well, there's still 40 seconds left in this third round, but I think so. You want to watch an all-time great finish? Watch the UFC fight between... Oh, that's a good one. Scott Smith and Pete Sell? Hell yeah. And this is not the most entertaining fight here, I will admit. What about, Mark Coleman versus Pete? Who was the guy that knocked him out in the first round? Oh, flying knee at the end lands there from Velazquez in a left hand. Macfarlane going back to her corner with a little bit of a bloody mess here. Oh, and they're saying it could have been the fence. We're trying to see when she was actually cut. It could have actually... that flying knee landed after she was already cut. But yeah, that cut could have came from having her face grated against the fence. Which is interesting. Another good one, Kevin Randleman versus Mirko. Yup. Yeah, the line on McCaffrey, Billy had just said he didn't practice Thursday, not expected to play Sunday. All right, a touch of gloves and 4th of 5 rounds. Yep, Jack Swagger, the wrestler. I have been somewhat impressed with him, though. He's not been a bad fighter, Jack Swagger. Good jab there from Velazquez. Oh, nice right hand there from Macfarlane as she feels that belt, I think, slipping away. And, there was some close rounds in there, though. The first and the third, I thought were both probably pretty close. Striking stats shows Velazquez ahead in every round. Oh, nice counter left there from Velazquez off the miss from Macfarlane. And Velazquez being patient, she's waiting for Macfarlane to come in first and then trying to pick her off from the outside. Nice left there from Macfarlane. What's up, King James? Something like that. Nice straight left there from Velazquez. Another left. And yeah, we could be looking at a new Bellator strawweight champion in a flyweight champion in another 8 minutes. Oh, nice left hook there from Macfarlane, though. Oh, good straight left from Velazquez. And Velazquez cutting off the cage there. Macfarlane fighting her way out. Left hand to the body there from Velazquez. Nice 1-2. We're only about halfway through round 4. Might end up being that. Remember a fight where Scott Smith got hurt to the body. Came with the right hand when the other guy was running in to finish. Oh, man, there's some great fights there in Strikeforce, too, back in the day. Man, you had Nick Diaz over there and Scott Smith and Tyron Woodley in his prime. Nice 1-2 there from Velazquez. And bloodies up Macfarlane's nose now. Oh, Macfarlane clinches and she gets the takedown. She gets a sweep easily. That looked like she kind of surprised Velazquez there. Sweeps the Brazilian judo national champion here up against the fence. Now remember, like I said, there's some close rounds here. So if Macfarlane can win the last 2 rounds, round 1 or 3, I could hypothetically see going the other way, going for Macfarlane. Nate Marquardt beat Woodley in Strikeforce. Yep. Gotta love those comebacks in MMA. Benil Dariush. Best comeback win this year, in my opinion. Oh, that was great. Yeah. Yeah, there's been some good ones. And now a lot of blood on the face of Velazquez. Big ground and pound here for Macfarlane. This is Macfarlane's spot. She is dominating here. And Macfarlane's got her in a good position here, up against the fence. And Macfarlane, it looks like she can pound this round to a win. The way she's going, she's just busy, just staying busy, landing shots here, trying to better her position at the same time. And just sitting on Velazquez's leg. When somebody's sitting on your leg and they have a hook from the other side, it's hard to go anywhere. And Macfarlane continuing to land this ground and pound. It looks like she's going to get maybe the first round of the fight. I support good fighters. Saputra. It's an international sport, man. And Big John McCarthy agrees with me, saying gave Ilima Lei Macfarlane the round. So I would say it's either 3 rounds to 1 or it could be 2 rounds to 2. This could be 2 rounds to 2. Like I said, some of those rounds were close. Not how I scored it. But, you know, especially the first round, that is very close. And there's not a whole lot of action. No, McFarlane won the last round. In my opinion. All right, guys, here we go. Touch of gloves. And this will be the final title fight of the year for Bellator. Nice right hand there from McFarlane. Oh, good straight left from Velazquez. And we'll see. Will we see the heart of a champion coming out, trying to win this? Or, you know, will we see Velazquez be able to maintain what she's done, what she did in those first 4 rounds? What time you streaming tomorrow? I'm on East Coast. BKFC is starting. I don't remember when it's starting here. I just set it up. That's a good question. I think they all start at 6. So it'll be 9 for you. I'll definitely be streaming by 6. If I do any of the prelims before that earlier, I'll make sure and put it up early so everyone knows. But yeah, I'd count on 6 p.m. And McFarlane pushing Velazquez, trying to get this takedown, but Velazquez standing up against the fence here. And you got to hope McFarlane would not take the last round off thinking she's ahead. Nice knee to the body there from McFarlane. That's not the sign of a champion. All right. That'll be good. We'll see you there, Derp. Woodley got signed to UFC right after his knockout loss to Marquardt. Yep, Woodley went on to become champion. Marquardt became irrelevant. Now Woodley's becoming irrelevant. Good points. Oh, it definitely is. And that's why I don't blame fighters for fighting for every dime they can get. Oh, and Ilima tries to get like a little ninja roll there from the bottom, and Velazquez reverses it and gets right on top of her here. And here's the ground and pound coming from McFarlane. Nice left hand from the top there from Velazquez. And a left hook upstairs. Velazquez trying to flatten McFarlane out here. McFarlane throwing up the rubber guard. She knows she's desperate right now. She's got to do something to finish this fight. What's going on, John? Good to see you. Velazquez took the last round. Nice right hand there from Velazquez up against the fence. She's got to be careful not to poke McFarlane in the eye there. Her fingers are pretty close to her eye there. Nice ground and pound here from Velazquez, and she might be just a minute and a half from winning her first championship. Nice left hook to the body and a right hand upstairs from McFarlane. Oh, McFarlane going for a throw here. Can't quite get the throw. Juliana Vasquez, I mean, she definitely had a lot of respect for McFarlane's grappling game, being, a Brazilian judo national champion. She really didn't try to take McFarlane down tonight. It was the other way around. But Velazquez, she countered. She countered several of those throws as well. Nice knees to the body here from Macfarlane. And this is MMA judges. I mean, I hear Big John McCarthy saying, Macfarlane's got 30 seconds to do something before she loses that belt. But these are MMA judges. You never know what's going to happen. 15 seconds left. I'm going to count it down. Sorry, the time clock got off a little bit there, I guess. 7, 6, 5. And there it is. Oh! And Velazquez with a throw at the end ends up on top. And we will go to the decision. Most famous fighter you ever interviewed? Oh, sometimes you get real still. Makes you think my screen is frozen. Yeah, I'm a little tired tonight. Most famous fighter ever interviewed would be, I'd have to say it's Randy Couture. All right, and the judges going over their cards. And you see strikes landed even. Wow, interesting. Strikes landed even. Takedowns in favor of Macfarlane 4-1. It really did not seem that way. Velazquez, I thought, landed a lot harder strikes. I mean, that's not significant strikes. Well, a lot of those were those ground and pound strikes for Macfarlane on the ground, and those are not the same kind of strikes. All right, let's see what the scorecard says here. Yeah, they know. She knows what's going on here for Macfarlane. You feel bad for her. But, I mean, it is what it is. Still the champion, Ilima Lei Macfarlane, says Derp. I got 100 pesos on Macfarlane. Oh, jeez. Man, they're taking a minute to count up these scorecards, though. Wow. Rogan said after Couture beat Tito, that guy is my hero. Yep. Just thought it was weird to hear a grown man call another grown man his hero. First judge scores at 40-47. First one is 49-46. Second one is 48-47. Unanimous decision. And the new Bellator Flyweight Champion, Juliana Vasquez. And giving her respect to Ilima Lei Macfarlane, bowing and giving a hug, and Scott Coker's waiting over there. He's got something for her. But Velazquez just soaking this in. I call that an upset. Ilima has run women's MMA and Bellator for years. Oh, she has. But Juliana Vasquez, rightfully in tears, an emotional moment here. Dethroning the champion, and she barely missed going to the Olympics for Brazil. And now, she's got her gold medal. It's just around her waist. Second only flyweight champion in Bellator history. And we'll need the translator, but we'll get some words here from Velazquez. Think Ilima would go undefeated in Bellator? Or I thought she would, and then go jump to UFC and fight Shevchenko. Oh, she's way too small for Shevchenko. I think really she should be fighting at 115, if not 105. And she's really excited to become the champion, thank her family and her team. All right, same kind of victory speech that we've seen in the past. Same weight class. Yeah. I mean, that's true. I think she'd get dominated by Valentina. She just seems like a small flyweight. And maybe that's just that Velazquez is so much bigger. It's such a big flyweight. But, all right, guys, I'm going to get some sleep for work tomorrow so I can get back here for BKFC. Man, let's bring up that card just real quick, though. All right, I'm going to bring it up and we will go through it and hopefully get some clearer times here as well. Oh, and the BKFC site is not the greatest site to find out what's going on in BKFC. That's not a good sign. Got to go over to Tapology. Those guys are solid. All right, guys. Here we go. Bare knuckle tomorrow. It's the main card. No weights on here. This is kind of interesting. I've seen Tyler Vogel, Dakota Cochran. Of course, this sport is still pretty young. Jenny Classius against Sheena Brandenburg, that's a good one. Tyler Goodjohn, of course, taking on Charles Felony Bennett. And then big heavyweights, Bobo O'Bannon against Sam Shoemaker. That is a huge dude. And apparently Dana White over here is fighting. Now, it's that picture of Josh Burns kind of looks like Dana White. But there you go. Like I said, always fun. Mark Godbeer versus Sam Shoemaker was the main event. Mark Godbeer has withdrawn. I'm actually just finding that out now as well. But Sam Shoemaker, he's a tough SOB at a heavyweight. Everything's always fun over there on BKFC. No question she get dominated by Valentina. Yeah. No sleep till Brooklyn, Mike. Pulling all-nighter. Come on. Yeah. All right. Losing the dollar. Title is way more important. Ouch. That sounds like an interesting movie, Derb. Potential fight between Whitaker and Costa is in the works. Ooh, I heard that. That's a good fight. I like that. I like that fight a lot. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in for another night. Bellator, congratulations to new champion Juliana Vasquez. Congratulations to Ilima Lei Macfarlane for defending her title 4 times, record 4 times for that weight class over there in Bellator. She was the only featherweight champion up to this point. But Juliana Vasquez, it is a new reign now. And Bellator on a new network, I really do wish them success. I will see you guys again tomorrow for BKFC 15. Bare knuckle fighting, always entertaining. Guys, as always, I love you. I respect you. And I'll see your fine asses later.